Lost Start with Andrew Cox podcast, Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast as giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat with the crew and a special guest. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And make sure you hit up the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. There is a couple ways you can help support us. You can go in and become a patron. That's a monthly donation. Or you can go in and get you some cool merchandise. But everything that you do there help support us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Also, big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project. They're out there doing some amazing things. Make sure you go hit up their website, check them out, see what they're all about, and support them as much as you can. You can see them at tillvalhallaproject.com. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, we're back here. So I will just go ahead. We'll start this one out. We're going to go ahead and go round robin on this. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing outstanding, Andrew. It's just a gorgeous, unbelievably gorgeous, beautiful days here in sunny Southern California. And if it wasn't for the prices, politics, and politicians, this would be a virtual paradise.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, you know. Yeah, I agree. Weather out there, I wish it was the same temperature here as it was there because it's starting to get warm here. But that's all right, no big deal. And of course, you know Mike, he's down there. He's getting hot. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. I'm tired, Andrew, but here in drizzly, rainy Southwest Georgia, I can't complain about the politics or anything like that. But you know, it's hot and humid when the sun does come out, but it's been raining for like the last 3 weeks straight.
Oh my gosh! Have you been able to mow your lawn?
No.
Yeah. Just let the jungle grow. Let it go.
That's you know, as much as I need to. The sad thing is I don't want to. But either way, it's going to have to get cut. But I mean, when I finally get
pay a neighborhood kid to come in and do it for you. That's the way to go.
At this point, I don't think there's any neighborhood kids who want to do it. So
it's too difficult.
But no, I'm doing good. Just tired from work. But you know, same old. You know.
All right. Well, sounds good. Well, we got our special guest here. We got Jennifer Jefferson with Focus Marines Foundation. How you doing today, Jennifer?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to have you on. I want to learn all about Focus Marines Foundation. I was doing some research and looking some things up here and there. And of course, I think it's a great organization. So I think everybody out there is going to get something out of this, and it'll be great. So I know you're a Marine veteran, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just kind of get a brief overview of you, your career, and kind of your service, if you don't mind.
Sure. So I joined the Marine Corps back in 1993. I'm an Army brat, so I grew up around the military. So it was something that wasn't too unfamiliar to me. So I joined the Marine Corps in 93 and I served 4 years. I did meet my husband and he had to get medically discharged. So when it was time for me to get out, I did end up getting out and we started our family and kind of moved from Quantico to California. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then he got into technology and kind of traveled a lot. And so I stayed home and had kids. I worked some, jobs like mortgage and loan processing and things like that. And then we moved to Germany for a year. I had my youngest daughter, and we did that because he worked on the World Cup. And then when we came back, we moved to St. Louis area, and he opened his own business. And so I was the office manager there for a while, and he started volunteering at this organization. He was asked to speak, and he just felt so in love with it and was so excited to be around a bunch of Marines again that he came home and was like, well, I want to do it too. So I volunteered and they let me let me in 2014 as a volunteer. And I've been with the organization ever since. And I've really grown organically into the position that I'm in now. But yeah, it started back in December of 2014. And I was a volunteer, and then it started part-time. Then, another job opened up, and then another job. And then, then they asked me to be the executive director. So
I was about to ask you, executive director is what you're at now, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Well, hey, let's just jump into it. Hey, tell us what Focus Marines Foundation is. Like, what is it all about?
Absolutely. So back in 2010, a group of Vietnam era Marines got together, and they really wanted something better for the guys coming back from the global war on terror, way better than they had in the Vietnam era days. So they got together, and there was one person that had the property, and then the idea just kind of went and spiraled from there. And then one Marine knew another Marine, and then all of a sudden you've got this big group of Marines really wanting to do something and pay, and help these new Marines coming back. And so they put together this program. It wasn't exactly what they wanted initially. So they said, nope, we're not going to do this in a way that doesn't serve us best and serve these Marines the best. So they went back to the drawing board, found a new facilitator, and really started the program. And really, it's a personal development program. We host 4 7-day programs a year. I don't call it a retreat because you're not coming here to have a reunion and drink beers with your buddy. You're really doing a lot of personal development work. And we go all the way back to childhood, because a lot of times some of the combat stuff that people deal with, they do a good job at the VA and they have worked on that, but there's still something holding them back from living their best lives or not having the transition they expected. And so we'll go all the way back to the childhood to just really clear some of that stuff up, or at least help them recognize that's what the issue is so that they can continue to work on it. You can't fix everything in 7 days, but I feel like giving them a start and allowing them to start that journey, or, be in the middle of the journey or the end of the journey, no matter where they're at, this is a program that could benefit them. So we help them really discover who they are, what is it that's holding them back, and then what do they want to do? So, and they all through a facilitator and guided discussions. And, you do it in a group with 25 other participants who are all veterans about the same era as you. Not everybody is the same age. Not everybody has been deployed because it's not a requirement, but about the same time frame. And you have that, that basis that everybody served in the military. And predominantly we do work with Marines and Greenside Navy, but you don't have to be. We do have open seats, and we just don't want open seats. So we fill them with the need and the applicants that apply whatever branch they're in.
Very nice. And it's located up in St. Louis, right?
Correct. Yes. And so all travel and the program cost is at no cost to the participant. We take care of all of those costs. So this shouldn't cost anybody anything except for a trip to the airport. And then we take care of everything else. We buy their flights, we get their transportation, and we take care of all the food and all of that while they're here.
Wow. Can you walk us through some of the different things that you have going on while they're there, the different classes and stuff like that?
Sure. So we go back through really helping everybody understand like the behaviors that they have and the automatic reactions and thoughts that they have. How do those get put in there? Because everybody's born a blank slate, but then through whatever your experiences are in your life, everybody's got things inside of them that cause them to believe, think, and act and really live their life based on that opinion or that belief system. And to really help them understand, is this serving you or is this being a block? Because if your instant need is to fight constantly, to think everybody is stupid and not really understand that there could be a different perspective, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. but it also could mean that they're not wrong too. And really just opening up people's perspective, because nobody's experience can be changed. It's really just, how do you look at it? And is that looking at it the way you're looking at it helping you move forward or keeping you from moving forward? So it really
Right.
is just switching that mindset and helping them to see the other possibility. So, there is some self-work. You do have to go back and really analyze yourself and recognize where you're at, because you can't get to where you want to go until you know exactly where you're at. And so we help them find that roadmap. And then really, we're a peer support program, so we don't have any doctors or therapists out there. It's all a peer support system. And we have graduate mentors that have come through the program. They've put the tools, they've used the material, they've really grown their lives, and then they come back and help other people walk through it.
Oh, very cool. I really like that. Now, what are some of the I almost said benefits, but that's not what I meant. What do you see on your end as people come into the program and then they make it through? Like, what are some of the positives that you're seeing?
It's so crazy, because most people, when they come in, especially on Saturday, everybody arrives on Saturday and they've got their covers on, they've got their heads down, their jackets are pulled tight or hoodies up, and they're just tight in there. And then by Thursday, and everybody becomes so friendly on even Sunday. All the jokes come out. You've got these shared experiences. Where were you? Where'd you go? Everybody's got the military is pretty small, so there's always a connection somewhere. And then we have some exercises on Sunday that really help break the ice and get them really knowing each other and acclimating themselves to the property, so they don't have any of those fears that this is, a weird place or anything. So they get familiarized. And then by Thursday, oh my gosh, everybody's covers are off. We've had people shave their beards out there. Everybody's just
Wow.
a different energy, it's just so amazing. And so, you can really see it on their bodies. Like, it's like you can't hardly recognize some of them because they look so different from when they first arrived. So it's just such a beautiful transformation. And, it's not that we have the expectation or even think that this is the end all be all, but that possibility for them to be that light and free in that moment is there. They at least know what that feels like, and try to work on keeping it and getting it back if they, stumble or life happens. We all go through this life. We all have things. It's all just part of it. And it's a mountain you never reach the top of, working on yourself and getting through some of these challenges. So, and I think just knowing you're doing it with somebody right next to you and by your side, and you have that support system, I think that makes it even just more special and maybe less difficult of a walk, knowing you're not alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, do you guys partnered with anybody, or is it just the foundation itself?
So we do have organizations that we work with and that we collaborate with. But as far as like partnering, I don't know that we have partners. So we are a 501c3. We don't take any government funding. We are privately funded, so we don't have to answer to anybody, and everybody can come knowing that we're not reporting to the VA. We actually have a no judgment. So we have a share day that everybody can participate in if they would like, but it's a judgment-free zone. So nobody's taking notes in the back and submitting any information to anybody. It really is just about helping them to maybe drop some of the stuff they have in their pack so they can just be lighter in life.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you on the website, it says a program built by Marines for Marines, and that really I don't know, that says something to me. Maybe
Me
that's
too.
just because I'm a Marine. I don't know. It could be. We don't have our other partner on who was Air Force, so our other regular is an Air Force guy. But we're all Marines here, so we're good.
Well, and I served at a time that not much was going on. 93 to 97, I can't even join a VFW unless I'm, sponsored by somebody, because nothing was happening when I served. So really seeing that No Man Left Behind in action is so powerful to me. Like, I absolutely love that I get to do this work. And, I really truly feel, yes, I served back then, but I'm serving now. I'm serving the guys that did lay it all on the line and making sure that they get the help that they need. And that means a ton to me. So.
Yeah. Now, you said it's a 7-day total. Is that what you said?
Correct. It's Saturday to
Yeah.
Saturday. But really, that's the beginning of our relationship. We meet everybody at Focus, obviously, put faces and have that in-person time together. And we bring people
Mhm.
from all over the country. So they're coming in from all over, and we can't be with them in every part of the world where they're at. So we
Right.
actually have a program after that there's no time limit to it. We will be there for as long as they want us there. And
Mhm.
we do Zooms 3 times a month. Most months, the months that we have session, we only do 2, but we take the material that we teach out there because it's coming at them in a fire hose effect. You learn
Right.
a lot in a short amount of time. And so really what we do is take that same material and we slow it down so they can jump on a Zoom once a month, and then we call it refocus. And so they get the material slower, or they get material that builds on what they learned out there and things they can apply to their daily life once they get back home and get settled back in and really start working on the things that they need to work on. And then we have another one called a buddy check, and that really is just to check in. It's no agenda. It's guided so that it doesn't get taken over, but no agenda. All graduates are welcome to attend, and it goes to everybody that has attended Focus.
And that's you said Zoom, like a group Zoom meeting type of deal.
We do a big Zoom meeting for
Yeah.
everybody, and try to keep everybody connected, even if we can't be together in person.
Very nice. Man, it
Yeah.
sounds like a fantastic organization. Mark, have you ever heard of it before?
No, that's the first I've heard of it. Pretty interesting though.
Now,
So
you want to
you
tell a
said it's a
little?
501c3, so it's all donors. Who's your main? Is it small donations? Is it you got big corporations that are footing so much every month or once a year?
So we do have some grants that we do apply for. Like Boeing is very generous and things like that in the
Good.
St. Louis area. And but really a lot of it comes from private donations. So we've been able to so far run this organization the way that we're running it with private donations, and every penny counts. We are very I don't even know the word in this moment. I'm sorry, I'm losing it, but we're very responsibly fiduciary. Yeah, we have a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility. Make sure that our program continues and that every dollar goes to the program as
Yeah.
much as
Now,
we can. Obviously, we have admin costs, but
Well, of course, you
right.
have to. I mean, the organization has to be ran. It can't
correct. Yeah.
just
Right.
run itself. It has to be ran by competent people. But yeah, you can still be judicious with the donors' dollars and still take care of people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we've had over
absolutely.
1,100, and we've had 1,160 graduates so far of our program,
Oh,
and we
wow.
just celebrated our 50th session. So we have been around a while because we have to keep our class sizes small. I think a while ago, back when it was starting, they really tried not to have a lot of media around it, so it wasn't bombarded, and we had to turn people away. But as it's getting farther away, sometimes it's harder to find the people that really want to come in. And so we actually are very blessed that like about 75% of our participants and our applicants are coming from other graduates. So they're
Oh, wow.
trusting us enough to give this information to their friends as well.
Very nice. Now, if I'm wanting to donate or I'm wanting to help out in any way, how do I do that?
So we do have a website. It's focusmarines.org. And right on the website, you can either apply to become a participant or donate. It's both right on the main page. And I think the apply now for participants, there's about 4 of them right on the main page. And that application comes right to me. So I'm the one that would be handling the application and speaking to the applicant. And I don't need anybody's story on the phone. I really just want to let them know what the next steps of the application process is and what's happening after that. So I'm not asking for anybody to open up to me or be vulnerable on a phone call. That's not appropriate. So I just really need them to let me know what session works best for them. Let's get it on the calendar now, and I'll go over all that with them on the phone. So
How many sessions a year do you have?
we have 4. We do them outside the horrible weather in St. Louis. So it can get pretty snowy here in the wintertime, and that delays flights, and that makes it really logistically difficult to manage when you've got 25 people plus all of the graduate mentors flying home if we've got to house them here because of snow. So we keep it away from that. And then the hot summers are really difficult as well. So we usually do like March, and this year next year we're going to do June. This year we did May, and then we do September and November before the holidays.
And now the property that you guys do it at, is that part of the Focus Marines property specifically, or are you guys using somebody else's? Because the pictures that you have on the website are awesome. I wish I was living there, to be honest with you. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And he is so generous that he allows Focus to go there 4 times a year. So he is a very generous man, and his family opens up their home and lets us all come, and he houses about 100 people for the Focus session because it takes so many to make this work. And we all sleep out there, and it's gorgeous amenities and rolling hills and horses and goats and chickens, and it's beautiful. It's on a lake, and that lake is stocked. So Thursday afternoon at Focus, we do go fishing. There is work, but there's also some fun. And so we go fishing, and it's stocked, and the lake is full. Almost everybody catches something. So
nice.
Yeah, he doesn't open it up to the public. It's just private. So it's
really wow.
Yes, he's very private, and that's his private home when we're not there. So
wow.
He's a Marine
it is
also?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Marine also, yes. He's one of the
that question.
But
did you ask if he was a Marine? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's funny is that he found out after he purchased the property and Focus started going that he purchased that property from a gentleman that used to come out and speak to us. When he came back from Iwo Jima and the Chosin Reservoir, he actually walked that property. And so there's been people healing from whatever they're going through, military combat, on that property for years and years.
Wow.
And they call it hallowed ground out there. And we actually have a spot, it's called Stackhausen Point, because the gentleman's name was Charlie Stackhausen. And we have everybody symbolically write down what they want to leave at Focus on a rock, and they can put it anywhere they want on the property. But he built a well out there, and there's a little bench, and we call it Stackhausen Point to honor Charlie Stackhausen for what he did in the military, and then also, let people really symbolically leave what they've got to leave out there.
Wow. That's pretty awesome, man. The more and more that we do these podcasts, and the more that I see these different organizations like yours that are out there for the veterans, I guess the happier and more excited that I get because we definitely need to be helping each other out, especially with all the crap that goes on in life and things that we have to deal with, and the struggles. So it's great that there are organizations like you out there doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that there's a lot of great ones out there. We're not the end all be all. I know that, but we are pretty awesome. And I'm always happy to refer people, because I know even having something to look forward to is helpful for people, because it's sometimes people are so isolated, and, they live so closed off that just knowing that they've got something on the calendar is helpful for their mental health. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you said, and you did 4 years, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And then what was your MOS? What did you do?
I was in dispersing, so payroll.
Dispersing. Okay. Yeah. That's important. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
You got to get paid,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. And you were at Quantico for 4 years?
That was my second duty station. I actually went to Okinawa first, and then I went to Quantico after that.
Very
and
nice.
My dad, actually being in the Army, he was stationed in Okinawa. So I graduated high school there as well. So it was like I was going
kidding.
back home. It was very, very cool. Yes. So.
Wow.
Nice.
That is really awesome. I don't know. My kids are young, but now Mike, he traveled around. Mark traveled around a lot, and so I'm sure they can relate to kids graduating from potentially a military school, but yeah, I'm still got young kids running around. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
that's pretty
right.
neat
Well,
when you stop and think about our kids and like yourself, Jennifer. It's pretty interesting. Our son was born in Southern California in 29 Palms, and our daughter was born here in Albany, Georgia. But it's funny when you stop and think about moving around, but with our son is he's bigger than I am, but everybody's like, where the heck were you born? He's like, Moreno, 29 Palms. They're like, where's that at? Well, he's like, desert in California. And they're like, everybody's like, I knew you were from California. He's just got that. Hey, man, yeah. It's just nothing gets to him. He's just, it's like that. My father-in-law was a retired Air Force guy, and he lives in Washington State. But he's like, yeah, there's Bailey with his California attitude. Our daughter was born here in Southwest Georgia, and she's like my wife, which is not a bad thing, independent and strong. But man, and you talk about, it's funny to hear her, the way she talks. She'll say, it's like, yeah, I can tell you were born in Georgia when she says things. It's like, but it's like you were sweet but spicy. Holy crap, man! You need to okay, Abby, tone it down just a hair. Just back it up.
funny.
Yeah, my husband and I have 5 girls, and both of us being Marines, they all get a little bit spicy too. So,
yeah. Well, that's the sad thing is my wife's a travel nurse, and she actually she's took a travel assignment. She was in Knoxville, Tennessee, where our daughter's at now. She just graduated last December from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville with her bachelor's in animal science, and she's applying to vet school. But she works at the vet school at the college. And unfortunately, her dog, who, she got when she was high school and he lived with us, she went out to Washington State, played soccer a couple of years, and then got accepted in the University of Tennessee. And he moved up there with her. But, he's got cancer. So he's having to do chemo. He's on like 8 weeks now of doing chemo and stuff like that. But my
holy cow.
Wife, she was up. She was on a travel assignment in Knoxville in Tennessee, and then it was done and over with. And then she took another assignment. It's like in Noonan, Georgia. I don't know if you've been to Georgia, but it's about 2 hours north. It's just north of Columbus, where the 82nd Airborne, the Airborne, and all that Airborne School and all that is in Columbus. But she had to go up to class. What's today? Tuesday. She didn't have to work. She had to do a class, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to go up to Tennessee, see her daughter and stuff." And yesterday, our daughter had to take him to the vet to the hospital, so they could do blood work and check him, so to do his chemo and stuff like that. So my wife went with her, and all the vets, the vet techs, and the residents, and all the nurse, all the students. As soon as they walked in, they're like, Murray, they're just going on and on and on. And finally, the one, he's the senior vet there, but he kind of runs the vet hospital, and he was like, he goes, so my understanding is Abby's dad was in the Marine Corps. That's what I'm getting at with this story. I'm sorry it was a long-winded story. And Kelly's like, yeah.
No, not at all.
Hey, Mark, I won't say anything because Jennifer's on here right now, Mark. Sergeant Major, excuse me.
It's Mark. It's Mark. Don't worry.
Sergeant Major. Yeah, that's how you're in my phone. It says Sergeant Major Mark. But anyways, he said, you could have fooled me. He said, her sarcastic attitude and how she says stuff, and he said, that's every ounce of Marine. And he said his dad was a Marine. So he said he grew up with it. So he had that understanding. It's amazing just how we are when you stop and, at least us as Marines, but I want to say us as veterans.
I think there's might be just a hint more spice to it with Marines. I don't know.
Yeah, it's terrible. My daughter will say it, and even my son will say it. But first time they heard me say it, they were little, and I shouldn't have said it. And I always tried to be good and not cuss or say stuff. But things. I was really good till we got back from Iraq the second time, and it was, almost 9 months, 10 months, Andrew.
Yeah.
It's like
about 9. Yeah.
A particular word is just an adjective. It can mean I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm mad. It's like, look at you. It's like, hey, stuff like that. But I started saying things, but all of a sudden out of nowhere, one day I said, holy screaming eagle shit. And that's my daughter's favorite line. She'll see something or say something. She's like, holy screaming eagle shit. And the first time her boyfriend heard it, he goes, what did you say? But he's got used to it now, but he understands that. He says the same thing. He's like, I was like, well, you have to understand sometimes Abby just, my wife will be like, she gets it from her dad. He goes, well, it wouldn't be the same if Abby wasn't like that. He said, I don't know what I would do if she wasn't like that.
Oh, goodness. That's funny.
Well, Jennifer, is there anything that maybe we missed that we need to talk about when it comes to Focus Marines Foundation?
No, it's just that if you want to apply, please do. You'll be speaking to me, and we do primarily post 9/11. We have guidelines, obviously. There's no requirement to have served in combat. There's no requirement to have any sort of rating or anything like that. We really just, if you raised your right hand and you said yes, then yes, you are eligible to apply. And we even take other than honorable discharges. I do have to ask what it's for, but I haven't heard anything yet that makes me not allow somebody to come through our program. In fact, we can introduce them to people that could potentially help them with a discharge upgrade. We don't really do benefits, but we do have resources around our organization that can help with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just had a gentleman on the podcast earlier today. This is my third one today, but he went to court martial. He was a colonel, went to court martial, actually ended up serving several years. But he's got 7 books that he wrote. He's got a lot of books out there. It's pretty wild. But sorry, I don't know where I was going with that, but
you got that old man brain just like me. I had 15 questions I was going to ask, and I can't remember a damn one of them. I don't have my tablet here to write stuff down real quick. Sad thing is, even if I wrote it down, I'd be like, what the heck does that say? Trying to shorthand myself, and I'm like, what did I just write there? But,
I do have to say there is one disqualifier, and I would feel bad if I didn't say it. We are not a medical facility at all, and we're actually a good distance away from a hospital, like 45 minutes away. People cannot detox at our facility. We just cannot manage that medically, and it's so dangerous that we just ask everybody if they need to detox to take care of that before they come. You can go to the VA and do it. There's lots of different ways to do it safely. It just can't be done on our property because it's just dangerous for the participant, not necessarily us. So that's really a disqualifier, and that's not a you can't come. It's just we need to get you to a better place medically before you come.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and there are definitely places that will help with that. Like you said, the VA is one. So there's quite a few all over the country. So.
And that's not your mission.
Correct. Yeah. We help with addiction by helping you to figure out what it is that's causing you to seek out the substance to medicate or self-medicate yourself. But yeah, we don't actually deal with the substance, just the underlying reasons why. Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, awesome. Go ahead.
I just thought of one of my. Well, that wasn't necessarily a question, but before Mark gets on my case again about going too long, but sure.
I got
you tell we all like
waiting to go.
Until we all like each other. Sorry, Major. I'll keep it brief. I promise. No, I was going to say you were talking about when everybody shows up. Everybody's got their hoodies on or their covers, hats, whatever on. And all of a sudden by day 2 and by day 3, everybody's enjoying. It is amazing. Myself as a veteran, how guarded we are. And it's not even just Marines. It's amazing how guarded we are, and we don't want to talk to other people about things. We don't, and it's almost a fear. It's like, it's a fear that if I let my guard down, something's wrong. And it's not, but it's amazing. Like your organization brings veterans together. And you talk about Marines, but as far as veterans in general, when we get together, it's amazing how that's one thing Andrew's done with this podcast. Just bring people together. We're all like-minded, and all of a sudden it's amazing how therapeutic and healing it is.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing.
And it's beautiful too. And you can go anywhere and almost, I don't even know how it happens, but you tend to gravitate towards them, the veterans anyway. So even in a stadium, you'll see, oh my gosh, you served in the military. When did you serve? And then all of a sudden you've got a group of veterans who didn't know each other, but now they're besties. And, really, it is beautiful to see. And it's hard. It's hard to break in. And I think that people have a lot of fear on what these organizations want from them. And really, I can say from the bottom of our heart, we just really want you to live whatever life you want to live. And we want to help you get there. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the fear, and that's the thing is we're so used to knowing an outcome, or we have to try to have control over it, and that's what we're all afraid of, and I know myself included. I'm going into something I have no control over, and it's hard. And that's human nature, but it's especially hard for all of us.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Like, hey, why don't you go to this program in the middle of Missouri, and then trusting the voice on the other end of the phone, which is me, to really talk you through and then buy you an airline ticket. And then, you get on. Like, that really takes a tremendous amount of courage. And, I'm to the point that I need something to change or it's not good. And so they get on the plane and I am always in awe every time about how we can all get everybody there logistically. And some people don't make it, they can't do it, but that's okay. I don't give up on them. And, as long as they show they want to try again, I'm happy to work with them so we can make it work. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, in the big scheme of things, it's like groups like yours that are actually, the benefit that comes out of it is just absolutely amazing. And I'm with Andrew. He sent the link out to your guys' site, and I was looking at it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "How the heck can I live there? Can I?" Just walk out there every day and just sit in a chair and drink a cup of coffee or something. I was like, really?
Click apply now and you can come check it out yourself, man.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, see, there you go, Mike. Yeah.
No, they kicked me out of there in a heartbeat. They're like, yeah, you need to go. Yes, get out here. That'd take Mark. He's an old salty old sergeant major up there.
Yeah.
All kinds of garbage, Mark. Yes.
He blacked himself out there, turned his camera off because he's eating his steak, I think.
He's eating his ribeye.
Are you eating your ribeye?
No, not yet.
Not yet. He's got
marinating butter right now. He's waiting on it.
Sitting in the butter right now.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Every show he has to talk about his steaks and make me jealous. Every show. It's great.
Well, Jennifer, it makes you feel good, Mark. I had bologna sandwich tonight for dinner, so plenty of Heinz ketchup on it. You got to have Heinz on it.
You know what I cooked the other night? I cooked some. I call them Spam fries. You take the Spam and you cut them up to make them look like French fries, and then you throw them in the grease. That's some good stuff right there.
That sounds delicious.
Mark's like, nope, I don't want no part of that.
Nope.
And speaking of bologna, fried bologna is really good, but there's certain things you have to do if you're going to fry the bologna, right? You got to cut a little slit in it so it stays flat, Yeah. Mark doesn't know anything about that.
Mark's always been eating good in the neighborhood, so
I grew up on a beef and dairy farm, so hey. I ate steak every day of my life.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Bologna
chicken
and
dinner
cheese.
was a big deal to us. We thought it was Sunday afternoon chicken dinner was like Wow, we get chicken?
Yeah, that's definitely a Sunday meal. Every
Yeah.
Sunday we had to go to eat chicken. Yeah, it was a Sunday deal. Yeah, I don't know. We're way off topic, but that's okay.
Yeah, we went from steak to bologna to spam to chicken to.
Yeah, we
But,
don't know what's going on here.
yep.
Jennifer, thanks for coming on and doing this. As we start to close out and we get close to the end of a podcast, we do what we call words of wisdom. So we go around and everybody kind of says some words of wisdom or anything like that. But before we jump into that, I will say this is one last time to give a plug for Focus Marines Foundation. So if you give us the website and any other information that you want to give us.
Absolutely. Check us out at focusmarines.org. You can you can donate, you can apply, you can check it out. All the pictures are real. The testimonies are real, and yeah, it's a great organization. And thanks for having
Awesome.
me. It's been really
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Well, we're going to jump into the next thing here. I think you'll get a kick out of it. This is called Words of Wisdom. Now, as we jump into this, Mark is always the one he brings us home, and he's been off for a while, so I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to get back on track. But he has some humdingers at the end, so we always let Mark go last. But I'll let Mike go first, so you can kind of get an idea and then think a little
Yeah,
bit,
let
and
Mike go
then
first. Yeah, let Mike. Sergeant Major gets to go. He gets to have his final say. Yep, yep. I know. I was
I
just a
mean he's
lowly
got the
master sergeant.
humdinger.
That's all I was. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. I see how you go, Andrew. But all right, I saw this one. I saw this one a while ago, and I've been trying to find it, and I finally found it. But I think it kind of goes with Jennifer's group, and it's something that I have to stop and think about, and I have to sometimes look at it and say, okay, yeah, you're right. But there are moments when troubles enter our lives, and we can do nothing to avoid it. But they're always there for a reason, whether you like it or not. Only when you have overcome those troubles will you actually understand why they were put in front of you.
Yeah, that's good. That is really good. I thought for a second you were stopping at the very first sentence that you said, and I thought that was it. And I was like, man,
Uh-oh.
that's a very strange words of wisdom. But you recovered. You went on, and it
Oh, I'm
was good.
sorry.
It was good. No,
Well, I
it's
was
all
trying to
good.
use my stand in front of everybody in front of the band and talk and trying to
Yeah,
use
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why I was never a sergeant major, because I didn't know how to properly start and stop and exaggerate and knife hand and do all that stuff.
You
Sorry,
missed the
Mark.
knife
I
hand.
disappointed you. I'm sorry.
You didn't disappoint me at all. No, I just thought it was strange where you. I mean,
Well, I'm
read the
trying to
first
figure out what
line
you're
again.
talking about.
Just the
I'm looking
first
back at it
line.
now.
The very
In the
first
moments
line.
of troubles enter our lives, and we can do nothing to avoid them.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna stop right there. I was
Oh,
like, well, that's
oh,
weird.
I'm sorry.
And then you kept going, and it was all
And then,
good.
but you were to compliment me. You're like, man, that was good. That was nice. I like it.
No, I was gonna be like, what? Your words of
All right.
wisdom went downhill this week. No, it was good. Thank you. I
I try to
appreciate
be
it, Mike.
nice. I won't say anything to you, Andrew.
Hey,
I
I
don't
know
care
you'll.
what Mark says. I still love you.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. Somebody has to love me. Yeah. All right, Jennifer. You ready for some words of wisdom? I don't hear you. I
I
don't
think
hear
she's on
you.
mute.
Are you muted? I think you're muted. No, no. Well, I still don't hear you.
She's trying. I see her trying.
Ah! Surprise. No, we got nothing. Oh no, we don't get to hear words of wisdom. She has something. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, while you're
Yeah,
there,
it
Jennifer, you
shows.
can hear us. We'll just go to Mark's. It'll be a rub a dub dub. But God, thanks for the grub. Amen. That'll be It'll be his words of wisdom.
Gotta eat some
There
steak.
she is. She's back, I think.
Yeah, I'm back. It was because my phone took my computer. I don't know what I did and how I did that, but I did something. But anyway, so it was more of a hard truth, like that life is hard and don't wait till you feel good to start living, because, maybe that will make you start to feel good. So go out and do the thing that you have been putting off because you just don't feel good. Walk your dogs, get outside, do the things. Don't wait. That's my heart. That's my words of wisdom today.
That was good. That was really good words of wisdom.
I heard
like
something
it.
very similar to that today. It was on another podcast I was listening to while I was driving.
Trader.
Sorry, Andrew. But it said a very, very, very similar thing, Jennifer. It was like, life is entirely too short, so just enjoy your life. Just live your life, enjoy your life. There's gonna be things get in the way, but enjoy your life, because if you don't, it'll be gone and it's too late.
Yeah, we only
That's
get
a good
one.
point. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Well, can y'all hear me now? Can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Dead. Hold on.
I can hear you.
That's what happens when you do a ridiculous amount of podcasts in one day. All right. We're to the point now, Mark. I don't know how you're gonna manage this, Mark, but
Yeah, special music for Mark. It usually plays is like
that's I'll have something for the next podcast.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Go for it.
Okay, so you know how we're always hearing as veterans, we're always hearing, thank you for your service and all that, right? Then you wonder what to say. So a good reply is, when someone says thank you for your service, you say you're welcome, and I trust that you are a citizen worth defending.
Ooh, that's good. That is good. Okay,
But you want
I
to know,
like
I was
it.
talking to but I was also talking to someone pretty high up in this country, and just a week or so ago, and I can't even believe it. I'm not sure if he used my advice or not, but I just reminded him what they say about tactics. Never send a man where you can send a bullet, and the bigger the bullet, the better. I don't know if he
It's
took my
true
advice
though.
or not, but
It's true.
you know,
You're not wrong when you say that. It all makes sense. Well, Jennifer, thanks for coming on and doing this. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you had a good time. But for everybody out there, Focus Marine Foundation, go check them out. Go ahead and sign up. She's looking for people right now. She needs people to sign up, and she needs donors. So if you want to send some money her way, I'm sure she wouldn't turn it down. So.
Not at all. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mike, Mark, thank you guys. I appreciate it. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on that chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. Mike, Mark, Jennifer, they all care about you. The whole veteran community cares, so reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you serve with, ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right. One last time. Thank y'all very much. To all the listeners, stay motivated. Change your sock.